Hi, this is Chris Terrell with Everyday VBA, and today we're going to be writing a function. We're calling it MyFirstFunction. So what I need you to do is just hit Alt F11, and what that's going to do is it's going to take you back into the Visual Basic Editor. What we need to do is we need to open up a module, and then we're going to call our function MyFirstFunction. Okay. Now with functions, you do have to pass variables. So we're going to call our first variable num. We're going to make that a double, which is a variable type, which is just basically a number. And we're going to compare. We're going to do the compare as double. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to write it's a really simple function that actually compares to see whether the number is greater than or less than. So we're going to do a simple comparison using the if function. We're going to go if num is greater than compare, then my first function equals, I'm just going to do num, which is this variable, and we're going to type in is greater than, and we're going to do and compare. And this may not make a whole lot of sense. We'll walk through it when we're done so that it makes sense. Now, if you can either have an if, else, or you can have an if, else if you want to do multiple criteria. And this is just going to be, we're just going to be doing a simple comparison here. And instead of is greater than, we're going to type in is not greater than. And this is just like any function that you would have on your workbook. Now it's not global. This has to be tied to the workbook, so you couldn't actually use it on other workbooks. So you'd have to copy and paste it in. But let me just show you how this works. Now, since we're in this workbook, once I type my, it's actually going to use the IntelliSense to pull that in. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pass two numbers, and we're going to pass a 1 and a 2. And then I'm going to hit enter, right? And then that's going to respond. It's going to give us the answer. So what I want to do is I want to walk through this step by step. So all we need to do now is just go back into this, and if we do this, if we change this to a 1 and a 2, and once I hit enter, it's going to pull open my code window because I put a stop there. Now if you click there, that's how you put in a stop. Now you'll notice that num as double equals 1, and I'm going to show you, I actually have my locals window open, and so that shows me that num equals 1 and compare equals 2. So it's going to basically just do a simple comparison. Those are not greater. It's not greater, and so what it's going to do is it's going to come down here and it's going to put all this together into a single string and send that back to the cell. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to change that. I'm going to go 2 then 1, and I'll show you what that looks like. And so notice it goes back to the stop, and it's going to say, oh, that actually is greater, and it's going to send that back to is greater. Now let's say we put in some text here. Now it's not going to like the text, and so it's actually going to error out. It's going to give us a value because that is what happens there is it says, wait a sec, these are supposed to be numbers because double is a type of integer or a type of variable that takes numbers, and it says, wait a sec, I can't even do that comparison. That's a basic function right there. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with that. That's really simple, but it kind of shows you how you pass variables into the function and how you return it. And the important thing is that you basically put your function and then you make it equal to whatever you're comparing it to. That's your first function. I hope you enjoyed.